Okay, hey.
I'm tired.
What's the 411?
There is no fucking 411. I'm falling
There's
apart
a
at the
911.
seams. There's a 911. That's what there is.
Yeah, dude, I feel you. Let's start. How are you?
Sore. I mean, what else do you want me to say? No, I'm really good. I'm great. I got a new job.
Yes,
we can
she
start
did.
there.
She did, people.
She
got a new
hustled her
job.
ass off for so fucking long, and it finally paid off.
Yeah, I will say in 2 episodes ago, you had mentioned, like, I don't want to say anything because, like,
Yeah.
I just want to keep, like, almost like manifesting, putting out there and not, like, putting the cart before the horse type of thing. And you got it. Congrats.
What the fuck is the cart and the horse? I've never heard that before.
You never put, like, don't put, like, if the horse is carrying the cart, the horse has to be
Oh,
before
like,
the
I
cart.
understand.
So don't put
Okay.
the cart before. Like, you don't want to, like, say, like if you're thinking you're getting engaged, not being like, I think, like, he's proposing this weekend.
And then-
I don't know.
yeah,
That's not a good
No,
analogy.
I'm-
but you
I'm-
got what I'm picking up?
I'm
What I'm
picking up
throwing
what you're
down?
putting down now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's been a long it's been a long time coming. I'm not going to be a real nurse anymore, which is like the greatest thing ever.
Is it though? Like,
Yeah.
aren't you gonna miss like poking people
No.
and prodding people?
No. I've done my time. And I know that there's some shriveled up nurse on a floor right now who's been there for 40 years who's like, bitch, you haven't done your time. But I've done my time.
You've said this is enough. I'm at a point
I've
where
done my time. And also, I never went into this career thinking that I was going to stay like in the bedside or like outpatient or patient care realm forever.
Yeah.
Like that was like never really my plan anyways. But I have been interviewing for like corporate style jobs since January.
Yeah.
And I've gotten to several like last round interviews and then been like, yeah, you're great. We'll be in touch. And then they're in touch and they're like, sorry.
That really does though say that, like, I feel
Oh
like,
my God.
you know, I feel like it's like kind of like you're in dating too, where like you finally get the job, but like you really, or like you finally like get a good date, whatever, but like you really gotta just like continue.
You have to.
like,
And, like,
push yourself forward.
I'll say like all the interviews I did were really good interview practice and like there was no role except for one. One I would have really, that I interviewed for before in the past, I would have really wanted. But like all the rest of them, I was just kind of like, this is just a foot in the door and like I'll take it. But like for the most part, if I look back on it, like no part of me like really wanted that job. It's kind of like that thing like when you're dating and you're like, I really don't like this guy, but I don't want to be alone. So do I really
Yeah.
like him, don't
Yeah.
I? Like you almost convince yourself. I have
Yeah.
a friend that's doing this right now all
Yeah.
the time. But like, I'm just like, I didn't even really want any of those jobs. And maybe that's why they didn't work out because the universe was like, not for you, bitch.
Yeah.
Keep it moving. So now I got a job that I really want.
Yes, she does.
And I'm so excited. But yeah, there was one point I remember like in my car, I was going to teach a class, like an evening class. And I like got an email on the drive there because I was using my cell phone and driving. And now I
Yeah.
have a State Farm monitor in my car that's like, don't use your phone at all.
Smart. Everybody should get one of those.
And I got an email that was like, you know, your application is under contention, but like there are other people that we've moved to a final round. Like we'll be in touch if any of those people don't work out. And I was like instant tears in my car being like,
Yeah.
fuck this. Like I'm just gonna forget it.
So what do you do to like tell yourself like I'm just gonna keep going? Like even after like multiple rejections, like how do you tell yourself like, okay, like what motivates you to keep going?
Honestly, I think I just seen so many cases of people being like, you gotta just like hang in it and like eventually it'll pay off. I don't know. I guess I'm a big proponent of like the work will pay off eventually.
Yeah.
And so I guess if I have to like interview and also, okay, in hindsight, I've learned too, like I wasn't answering questions the way that they wanted me to answer questions. And like, I learned a lot about interviewing. And so I think I just was like, I just convinced myself that this is the grind. And
Yeah.
like, you kind of just have to, but it made me more prepared. Like I will say like that one job that I did really want, looking back on it now, like I wasn't prepared for that last interview that I did the way that I should have been.
Yeah.
And so now going into this, I was like, there's not one damn thing I'm not going to be ready to answer.
Yeah.
So it was like a learning experience, but it just like, I think allowing yourself to have that moment of like, or moments or days or weeks of like, fuck this, I'm not doing it anymore
Yeah.
is fine. But then you have to like whatever with the cart and get back on the horse and drag the cart.
I feel like there's like a cycle too, like when you're applying for like a million jobs and you're trying to like get that next role or whatever it is, it's like you're gonna apply to a million. Like there was a point where I was like applying to every job that I saw, and I was like, half of these jobs I don't even want. Like, what's the point? There's a point to like getting to that interview where you're like, okay, I'm gonna interview for a ton of roles and I'm going to see what sticks, like, or kind of like just see what the interview process is, which is like good practice, especially if you're out of interview, like if you haven't interviewed in a while. And then I think it's getting like a little bit more gritty. Like, you knew the realm that you wanted to be in. You were like, this is kind of like what I want to be in. And I think thinking like that can go for anybody too. Like, you can go from like the most general, or maybe know that you're going to take a step back in your career in order to like catapult forward. And like, what is that setting you up for in your future? Yeah. I think is a good thing to think about. I feel like I'm such a good communicator, but I'm like not a good interviewer at all. But I'm great on a first date.
Right. Because you have to tell these people, like, they're asked. So I learned that I was answering the question, tell me about yourself, wrong. Because what I would do is I would just dive into like my resume in not like a boring fashion, but I would just be like, well, I started my career right in the ICU out of nursing school, and blah, 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 blah. And like, they don't give a fuck. It's on paper in front of them. And so like for a while I answered that question like that, and it was fine. Like, it always moved me through. But like, then I started kind of researching how to interview for these types of roles. And it's like, yeah, sure. Don't read off your resume. Talk about like your experience as it applies to the job, and then like, why do you want to work there? And then like, tell them something about you, like that has nothing to do with your fucking but also make it apply, right? So like I'm moving into the sales realm, which is like arguably, especially pharmaceutical medical sales, is arguably one of the most competitive fields to be in, to get into, to do well in, like any of the above. And so like, I always say at the end of like when I'm talking about myself in these interviews, like I always throw in that I coach fitness, because that shows that like I can command a room and like I can adjust on the fly to like people's needs and like yada yada yada. And like, you also have to play up, like I play up the ICU thing, and I'm like, well, I can be good at sales because blah blah blah. And like, my role now is more dynamic than me just selling like a drug or a product. There's a lot more like patient coordination and like stuff involved, but like, it was really like, you kind of have to play the part. And like, you get to a point too where you're just like, I think you're answering questions and you're like, why do I even want to work here? Right. You know what I mean?
think too, it's like becoming clear with like, how do you present yourself in a way that you like talk about your experience even, like how do you sum up your experience in a way that like shows, like for marketing, like how do you show that like you've actually placed an impact on where you've worked in your past? Like, I've had to market 5 different restaurants, and that's cool, that's great, but like, what did you do? Like, did you increase sales by X amount? Did you grow their email list? Did you grow their platform? Did you launch their TikTok? Like, whatever it is, talk about that and how like the experience of what you've done. And I'm the same, where I'm like, and I coach fitness, and that's actually what I love to do.
I mean, you gotta kind of like play it up,
but it doesn't pay the bills.
No, not
I
even
literally
close.
tell everybody that, because someone this weekend had asked me like, why don't you teach full time? And I was like, I would love to teach full time, but that would be a
6-figure salary without me teaching 200 classes a week.
That's what you'd have to. I said, I was like, I'd be teaching like 30 classes if I wanted to make like a substantial living. Even 20 classes, like, you want to make a nice living, like, it's a lot. At the studios where I teach, granted, I know there's some studios where like you could walk out of a class with like 175, but like, that's one class. So like, you got to keep that moving. And so I think that's something that I think about a lot, where I'm like, I don't want to burn myself out to a point where like I resent teaching fitness. Like, I love it so much right now. And already, like, I just added 3 classes, and I'm like, whew, that like added a lot, that I'm now like, okay, what do I do with my schedule type of thing. But it becomes like, I was trying to tell one of my little in my sorority is going through teacher training. Granted, I'm not in a sorority anymore, and she's now a friend, but that's just explaining who she is. And she was like, I'm getting my 200-hour teacher training. I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. And she was asking me about teaching, and I was like, it's such a fulfilling thing. I truly believe that. But I also think that like, the people who come in don't understand that, like, you literally give your energy to others. And, like, yeah, you're on the bike, or I'm, doing demoing or weights or whatever. And it's not your workout, and it's your energy to focus on everybody else, still do it, teach, you know what I mean? All of that. And it's like, I was like, I wouldn't quit your job just yet. I would see how teaching goes, what that experience feels like, and then you can transition if you did want to teach full time. But
yeah, you almost turn into, like, I was just at a photo shoot yesterday for a fitness thing, and we shot some like reels content and that kind of thing, and we were doing okay, let's do a quick snippet of this. And so I got up on the bike to like coach it to like everybody else. And like, I'm sure if you pull the clip of like when they started filming and then me being like, okay, and like getting into it like I'm coaching, I sound like two fucking different people in a split second.
Yeah.
Because you turn on this like persona and this energy that you don't just like walk around with 24/7 having. And it's hard to muster that if you're not in it. And now you've made that your entire career and identity. Like, it's a lot, I think. I don't know that I would want to do it full time. Like, I think I do just like fucking around.
I would love to do it if it was like 10 classes a week and I could make a nice living and then just
and
like,
they'd pay
live
you
my
200
life
grand just to yeah. But that's just like not the reality of.
It's not. I definitely like, there's multiple sides and things that I like have in my brain that I'm like, okay, we could do this, we could make this work. But as of now, we're status quo with where I'm at. I may or may not give up a few classes just to like make my days a little bit more seamless.
Yeah.
A little better, but
yeah, it gets a little, I mean, honestly, I just was talking to, do you know Amira?
no.
She coaches at Train. Her chiro appointment was ending when mine was starting, so I ran into her, and I just like know her from like in passing and like girly pop chats and stuff. But she's like marathon training and influencer and like all these other things, and she's like, I had to drop my classes in half because I can't even begin to like juggle. And like, what even she was, it's not like she was the type of person teaching 20 classes a week. She might have been teaching 6 or 7 or 8 or something. And I said, sis, I'm looking to drop one of mine, and I only coach 2 a week.
I teach 10 classes a week at 3 different studios and have a full-time job.
Yeah, no, like
it's a lot.
But it's
like, I love my students. I love what I do so much that I'm like, it's like a pain point where I'm like, I don't think I can let it go.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It is one of my favorite things to do, and I do pick to do one of the more aggressive formats on my body for a reason, because I do enjoy it so much. But yeah, sometimes I'm like, it'd be nice to just not. Yeah. Like tomorrow night will roll around and I'll be like, if I could just stay home, I'd be interested in that. Although I'm not teaching tomorrow because it's a Jewish holiday. What holiday is it?
Girlfriend, you didn't even wish me a happy New Year. It's Rosh Hashanah. Oh. It's the Jewish New Year.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
Full transparency.
And that's the end of our friendship.
What do you do? Yeah, I asked her a question about Hanukkah like a couple months ago, and she's like, I don't know. Her Passover it was.
It's like you have apples and honey and a dinner.
Delicious.
And that's it. And then in a week, it'll be Yom Kippur, which is like our most holy holiday, where we fast and like repent for our sins. Which I have none, so.
Oh, I fear you may have quite a few, actually.
Just a few.
Perhaps repent anyways, or whatever they do.
I'm working, and my mom was like, oh, so you're not going to repent for your sins? And I was like, I will, mother.
How do you, okay, so like, let's say you go on to have children. Mm-hmm. Are you going to ingrain them into the Jewish lifestyle? Or just like, no, because you don't really care? Not that you don't care.
I would like to. Darius knows this too. I would like to bar bat mitzvah our children. I'm not someone who goes to like Shabbat services. Darius is not someone who goes to like Sunday church. So I like the idea of growing up believing in something. Mm-hmm. I just think that religion causes so many problems. And truthfully, people hate me right now because I'm Jewish for no reason. I mean, whatever. People have reasons, but there's just so much hate in the world, and
but
it's
to
just
hate
like,
you personally is
right. Yeah. It's solely because I'm Jewish.
Yeah.
And And I think Darius feels the same way, like where he's not like, my children need to be baptized or communion or anything like that. So, yeah, I mean, I guess it could all change when I have children, but that's kind of what I think right now is just like bar, bat mitzvah, celebrate Easter, celebrate Passover, Yom Kippur, Rosh Hashanah, Hanukkah, Christmas.
Yeah.
Just best of all worlds.
She's like, I only want the good parts.
Really though, that's all I do. You know, like I was bat mitzvahed. Darius and I talk about like homeland visits where he would visit Israel, I would visit Lithuania, and so we like have that type of thing. So,
do you want to visit Lithuania?
Hell yeah!
All right.
I think it'd be so cool, and like just to see the culture there. Like not no one, but like people don't really go to Lithuania, so I feel like to see the culture there would be
people aren't
really
like
cool.
When they talk about taking
and then you're
trips.
already there, so it's like let's go to like Italy.
Where
after.
else is nearby that we
It's
can?
like a 3-week trip and just go.
Yeah, I was thinking about that last week. I went to church with Marlon just because he's been asking me to go, and like I was raised Catholic, so I've been to church. I don't know if you've ever been to the Catholic Church, folks, but it's the most painful, boring thing of all time.
Yeah,
like misery, pure misery, especially if you're just like, I'm only here because my parents made me come here kind of thing. But he goes to Christian church, and that's much more of a party. Those people really know what they're doing. There's like a live band.
Yeah, I was going to say, I feel like now like Reformed temples and like the churches that people go, like more younger crews go to now are much more of like obviously you're praising the Lord and like whatever.
Yeah.
Like you do in church or temple, whatever. But I also feel like there's a sense of like an intention. And so you're like going in with like you walk out with some type of like this meaningful kind of like point of view that you walk out and you're like, wow, like, okay, now I can think about this. And I'm sure it relates back to like the Torah or the Bible or whatever, but I feel like it's much more like new age inspirational when you do this. And I know that people are atheist and they can find this inspiration. Like I kind of think of it sometimes as I'm like, are they scrolling through like in Spirit Daughter and like looking at like astrology? You know what I mean? Like it all in some way it's like a higher belief that we all believe in.
Yeah.
Remember when we said like, let's keep politics, now we're on religion.
Yeah. Well, we were like, what's going on in pop culture? And I was like, absolutely nothing that we can talk about because I'm not even opening that fucking can of worms for anybody. But it was nice to go with him. I mean, okay, so like I'm not going to go again on my own. And I'm probably not going to go again anytime soon. But like down the road, if he wanted me to go, I would go with him. But like they were relating things to real life.
Yeah.
You know, and like that I'm like, all right, I'm on board. And I'm on board with you having a thing that you like believe in. I think that we can't just like think that we're the only thing going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then I get to this point where I'm like, but like, how come your thing is the only thing? How come my thing's not the only thing? Like, how do we know? You know, like I get into like that.
Know.
Yeah, I know. But that's just like how you know, but
no,
like
Darius the other day was like, I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm just Googling like how the world, if there wasn't humans or something, like how did the world start or something like that. And I was like, are you high?
Yeah, like
and
what's
he was
happening?
like, no, I just like got to thinking and like ChatGPT, you know, now you can whatever. But yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I'm a big science person, so you know there's always that thing too. But I do throw it up to the universe quite often, and I'm like, and then I'm like, I sit here sometimes and I'm like, I mean, these people are thinking that God's really helping them out. And then I'm over here like fucking writing things into the planets. And I'm like, I'm fucking 9 more times as crazy than these people that are like, read this Bible. You know what I mean? Like,
same.
Like I'm over here like, well, this is aligned and this is in Sag. And like, you know, when that happens, you got to be careful where you're doing this. Like, and it's...
Or like it's Mercury retrograde and you're like, I can't sign any contracts and I can't do this.
And
I
communication,
can't do that.
you can't fucking talk to anybody because that's going to all be fucked. So we all got our thing. But I don't know if I ever had offspring, if I would. I think I'd be like, do you want kids?
I think so too. Like I definitely, I don't want to force anything upon anybody. I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, I don't know. We'll see what happens when I have a child.
Pop out some kiddos.
Yeah. Like then it'll all change.
I used to always want to be Jewish when I was little.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. But
Welcome
I did.
to the tribe.
I don't know that I want to sign on board right now, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, I had a wedding this weekend in Boston.
I have a
and
wedding this coming weekend.
Let
Look
me
at us
tell
go.
you, I am the most fucking tired.
I love Boston.
It honestly was so lovely. We
love it there.
went to Situate first, which is like an hour outside the city. And we had
Where'd you stay?
In Situate, we stayed with my friend.
Oh, okay.
And she lives there. And so, two things. One, our driver on the way there, holy moly, was he like the most exhausting. This guy
yappiest yap.
talked to himself. And Darius was like, I think I'm not going to answer. And
Yeah,
I, of
let's talk
course, was
about-
like, I'm just going to keep talking.
Let's talk about Uber etiquette. Do you think it's appropriate to be like, I don't want to fucking talk to you?
Well, he wasn't an Uber.
Oh, just tap.
So, like,
oh,
you know how you
driver.
can say, like, please don't talk to me on Uber?
Yeah.
This was like, he was like an outside driver that my friend, because Situate's an hour out and it's hard to get a car.
Yeah.
Like, to go there because people are like, once I'm there, I'm not going to get another
Uber, yeah.
And so he drove us, and I just was like, I'm exhausted from you talking. And Carol, her mom, was like, just tell him to sing, and then he'll start singing. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to hear him sing.
I'm not sure
I don't
that I
know
want
if
to hear him
that's
sing.
going to be better.
I don't know that I'm interested.
But then we got there, and she's got 2 young kids, and that was just like really fun. But Darius and I were sleeping on a pull-out couch that was a full.
And so
And
now
when I
you
tell
have
you-
incredible back pain?
We've talked about this where I'm like, I need my space sleeping. I literally was like, get off of me.
Yeah.
Stop like cuddling me. And he was like, I love being so close to you. And I was like, oh my God.
You're like, I could never.
I was like his hand was on me, and I was like, ugh. And I'm like,
I just saw, I think, an article saying that, I think they interviewed
Matthew McConaughey
Yes,
sleeps in
McConaughey
a twin.
saying that, yeah, the closer the better. It's the key to marriage. And I'm like, well,
Listen,
then fuck marriage because I
think
can't.
I do.
Do you think there's something wrong with us? Do you think that's
no,
a trauma?
here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I think.
Someone diagnose
Because
us.
Darius and I have been really talking about like love language and intimacy and physical touch and like these things. Darius's love language is physical touch.
So is Thomas's.
And I'm like, I love like walking, holding hands. Like if we're walking and his arms around me, I'm like, this is awkward and we can't
you feel
walk
like you're
this.
bobbing around
Yeah.
and like things aren't comfortable, and I'm just like, I don't like to feel like, yeah, no, don't put your arms around me and walk.
This is not like, it's not comfortable to do this.
It's not giving picturesque.
It's just not.
Yeah.
So we've been talking a lot about that, and I'm not saying intimacy in the sense of like we're having sex. I'm like talking
yeah.
about just like other ways to be intimate. And one of the things we talked about was like cuddling and like really finding that like connection when you're just watching TV. Because we talk a lot about how when we watch TV or even when we have dinner or whatever, we're scrolling on our phones and we're watching TV, and there's zero intimacy in that.
Yeah.
Even like when you're talking, eye contact, you know, because everybody's like this, like down here, or they're searching over here, or they're whatever it is, you know, they're doing.
Sometimes when I talk to people, though, I feel like I look off into the distance, and then I'm like, do you think I have autism?
Well, I think maybe you're just
a touch
like,
either way.
It's like you're half there, you know?
Yeah, I know, but sometimes like when I get talking, I mean, I know I do it a lot here because I'm like looking over here and looking over there and
Yeah.
whatever, but sometimes like I realize like when I'm talking to people, I'm like, I'm not actually looking at you. And then I think to myself, is that the autism?
Yeah.
But anyways, go on.
Yeah.
Intimacy.
Well, I think so. We talked about, I don't even know how I got here. Oh, the bed. So he loves to cuddle. Like,
Okay, but also
at
he's not
all-
a small person
no,
either.
at all aspects of like the day, night, everything. And so I've had to give in a little bit, not necessarily like when we're sleeping, I need my space, but like when
Yeah.
we're watching TV, cuddling, when we're like hanging out, whatever, just being like more physically intimate. I feel like leaning into it. And I do feel like it does help you get closer to your partner. So I can understand where Matthew McConaughey would say that, but I'm also not out here buying a queen bed. Like,
Yeah.
we also have 2 dogs. There's no fucking way
Yeah,
the 4 of us are gonna like just be chilling in a queen bed.
Yeah.
No.
No, it's not going to work. I myself, I've always been like, just don't touch me. I don't know what it is. I just feel like I can't get comfortable.
No, same. And
I
have
feel
to
like I
be-
can't get
I've
comfortable.
had to be a little bit uncomfortable to make Darius happy.
I know. I do it too. And I go through these periods like where there's times where I want you to be like last night.
and then when I cuddle you and you're like not reciprocating,
I'm like, do you like me?
but I'm I'm also like, are you kidding me? Do you know how much work I'm doing that I like cuddled you?
You're not even acknowledging the growth that I'm doing
like,
right now.
Hello.
Last night we were watching TV before, or it was Sunday, so I was watching football, but before I went to bed at a ripe hour of 8 p.m. And like he was laying here and I was like laying over there, and like he wasn't making any attempts to like put his arm, like crank his arm behind him to touch me. So like I was like in his ear like, hello.
Yeah.
And he's like, hello. And I'm like, well, I'm here. And he's like, yeah, I see you. And I'm like, well, you're not acknowledging how close I am. Yeah.
No, and it's like, why aren't you acknowledging? Because like I'm doing this for you.
For you. And like right now it's working for me. So let's make it happen. And then other times I'm like, or he's talking I do it a lot too. Like, but sometimes, you know what, there's times also where I do just like to like check out and scroll on my phone. Like I am somebody who does love to doom scroll, and I don't know that I'm going to let that part of me go. But there is a time and a place. Like I need to separate.
I think it's crazy because Darius and I talk about this all the time where I'm like, where he's like, I just don't want to really, like, it feels like work. And I'm like, yeah, we do have to fucking work at it
but I
all
kinda think
the time.
Yeah, I think there's this, like, glorified thing for a long time that, like...
An easy relationship is, like,
yeah. Or you're just like, oh, you hear people, we never argue. And I'm like, well, then you're not clearly being yourself, because there's no way that you coexist with a human being and you guys don't get in an argument.
Zero way. That you're on top of each other all the time.
And you're
like,
not, you're not doing things to piss that person off. I've lived with girlfriends who, like, I've lived with many times, and they were so easy to live with until in the moments they weren't. And I was like, you're driving me fucking nuts. And it's just like somebody else in your fucking space.
With someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when you're, it's different than when you're like growing up and you're like at your house because you're like, I live here and I have no choice.
I was talking about it with my girlfriend too, where we were saying like, you're so close with someone, you're building a life with someone, whether that is with children or without. And it's like, you got to give a little bit to them, but they also have to give a little bit to you. And you can't nitpick everything that they do.
Yeah.
And they can't nitpick everything that you do. You've got to let some little things go and recognize that, like, you're letting it go. Not something that you're pushing down and, like, shoving down to a point of, like, that's going to come up later because I'm pissed. But something where you're like, all right, I'm going to let that slide.
Yeah.
And if it grows into, like, something bigger, fine. But, like, there's some friends that I have that like the other person like rules the relationship. Like they are the whatever they say goes. And then there's someone who literally just like everything that person does is like jab, jab, jab,
Yeah.
jab, jab. It's like you got to be somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
Because neither one is healthy to just
No.
let the other person like you win, you win, you win, you win, you win, or be like, that's
I'm
bad,
the
that's
winner.
bad, that's
Yeah.
bad, that's bad, that's bad. Like
Yeah.
you gotta, there's somewhere in the middle of like, if things bother you, bring it up, but not everything should bother you.
Should bother you, I know. And I've gotten to a point too where I'm very quick-mouthed, I would say. Like I can let things fly out of my mouth very fast and like be real snarky with it if I want to be. And like I've gotten to a point where like sometimes I have to like stop and be like, okay, like the outcome of what you're about to say is just going to perpetuate into this fucking cycle of other things that
Yeah.
like you don't even want to talk about right
Yeah.
now. And also, you know what I've gotten really good at too? This conversation is fucking all over the place.
Yes.
But I started with back pain and now here we are. I've gotten good also at being like, is it worth me even like trying to work through this with someone else, or is this something that I can just kind of work through on my own?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which sounds a little crazy, but because I do talk to myself often, but like how important is it to actually make this a topic of conversation? Like what's gonna come from this? It's almost like you're picking and choosing.
And it's
what's
also
worth.
really easy to pick these little things with someone that you love, even if it's not about them. It's
Yeah.
easier to like do that with them than it is to do that with like it could be something else that's bothering you, but you're just going to take it out on this person because you love them. And it's like that unconditional type of love that like, okay, great. Like I'm sorry I said that, whatever. But I think there's a sense of like, to your point, like not everything needs to be said.
No, and like sometimes I'm just being a dick. Like, and sometimes I just need to
I'm
like,
never a dick, so I don't get it.
sometimes I'm just like, just fucking shut up. You know, like it's not the end of the world, and like there are there are bigger problems. But I do think like sometimes if I notice, like if I'm like, I'm annoyed about this again, okay, and then again, then maybe it's time to, you know, say something. But like, I've kind of just been like, this is growth that I am like able to be like, is this even, or can I just like stew about it in misery with myself for like
right.
minutes and then like let it go instead of turning it into a whole thing that doesn't be, because I think you do need to communicate, but like we don't also need to over communicate about shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to tell you 17 times that the same thing fucking bothers me.
Well, and that's the thing is like you need to be able to one say like this bothers me, but you also then need to be able to say like it. Let's say 3 times max, and then it needs to be something that like is changed or whatever.
Yeah. It's a give and take. But I don't know. I used to be very
quick to jab or quick to be like da, da, da.
Yeah, and I've kind of learned
to pull back.
Yeah, a little bit.
Which is also like hard.
It is, especially because I don't know. And I think I just care now in different ways than I used to. Like I used to be the person that just always had to win the argument and like that kind of thing. And now I'm like, I'm starting to care less about that stuff and being right and having the last word and whatever. And I'm starting to care more about like, what am I actually contributing for you? You know?
And you know what too? Like it's hard to fight, I think. Like, it's hard to argue all the time. It's exhausting.
It is. And, like, typically if that's what's happening, it's because, like, no matter how the conversation's going, typically, like, the true thing that you're arguing about is the same thing. You know what I mean? So it's like, I mean, it's kind of like wellness. You know, like, if you have X issue and it happens over and over and over again, we can treat X issue or we can figure out what the fuck is actually going on. And we can also
change what's going on. You know what I mean? Like, if you're to the wellness point, to a relationship point, if you're continuing to do the same things over and over again and you're not willing to change or make any type of effort to do something different, you're going to continue to have those same problems over and over and over again. And that's also as wellness. If you're continuing to have gut issues and you're not changing anything about your lifestyle, you're going to continue to have gut issues. You're going to continue. I think that's the problem, is putting in the effort and putting in work is so fucking hard. And you're like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Like, I'm tired. My back hurts. I'm exhausted. Like, I want to go to bed, whatever. All the things that like we're complaining about here. Like, okay, but we still have to like work at life.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And but also I think sometimes the reason that you're so tired mentally is from like the stewing issue that's fucking, you know what I mean? Like, you're like, I'm tired and I really didn't do anything to be tired today. What am I actually tired about?
But I have a reason to be tired.
Yeah, 100%. More than one.
Like, I stayed out until 3 a.m. on Sunday morning, I guess it would be.
That's entirely not what I was talking about, but
oh.
But yes to that as well.
Yeah.
The second one I'm not going to say out loud, but yes, 100%. I'm scared. I'm going to Vegas again.
She's a party girl.
Someone just said to me, they were like, were you just there like a couple months ago? I said, yeah, I was. And now I got to go back there again and perform.
What are you performing at?
Like, I can't just like be like somebody in the background,
Cabaret
you know?
Taylor.
Like, I can't just like be somebody in the background.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be fully involved in everything that's going on. So yeah, I don't know how that's gonna go.
It's gonna be real fun.
It will be, and it'll be fun. But I'm just like, man.
And then she comes back and she starts her new job.
I know, and I can't wait to not have to clock in and clock. I can't wait to come to the salary life.
Oh wow, I didn't realize you clock in and clock out.
Yeah, I fucking sure do.
Wow,
I've been clocking in and clocking out for the last fucking 7 years.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what that's like. I haven't clocked in and clocked out since my days at Taco Bell.
Oh, Taco Bell. Mm-hmm. We love Taco Bell. Yeah, right. It seems criminal, right?
Yeah.
I don't understand how I have done what I have done in my career. And like, I was literally keeping people alive during COVID aggressively.
And we thank you for that.
Back to back. And somehow I still have student loans to pay. And they made me clock in and out for that.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
It feels like somebody should write me a check.
If anybody's willing to write Taylor a check.
You know what I mean?
That would be great.
I get we pay lots of money for entertainment, and that's why like athletes get paid so much money and like singers and whatever.
No,
but
it's
like
actually bananas.
But like, what about me?
No, it's literally crazy. Yesterday, Darius was watching football like all day when we got home, and I just kept thinking about how much money was on the field, like how much money these people were making on the field, and I was like, this is insane to me.
It's insane.
You want to know what else is insane?
Yes.
Of
Okay,
course I
I I was watching um The Summer I Turned Pretty. Did you watch it?
No, and I want to keep calling it Pretty Little Liars.
Well, that's like two different shows in one.
I know, and I don't know why, but I keep wanting to say Pretty Little Liars. But okay, go on.
Okay, so in The Summer I Turned Pretty, it's like an amazing show and you should definitely watch. It's like the dumbest show ever, but it's mindless.
Okay, but I heard the acting is like really cringy, so I don't know.
And that's why you should watch it because it's mindless and stupid and just like takes your brain nowhere and it's great.
Great.
It's like I
Okay.
feel good, whatever. Anyway, the insanity part is I was watching a TikTok where they were saying how much these people made. Like
Oh,
literally the anywhere from like they started at like $10,000 an episode, which still is pretty insane, but like, okay, fine. Then they go up to like 20, 50, 70, 80. Whereas like the main characters just for the film itself made $1 million. And then
yeah,
that's
that's
not on top of
insane.
like any sponsorships or partnerships or the free shit that they get. So now I think I'm going to go into acting because to your point, the acting was so horrible that now I
Yeah,
think I
you don't even need to be a good actor to make that kind of money these days,
know you
which
do.
is crazy. I'm gonna bring up one point and then we can wrap this up because I saw this today. Okay, I follow this makeup influencer who used to be like a nobody on YouTube. Do you know
Yeah,
where I'm going with
raise your
this?
hands in order to say that you follow them.
Text. Um, anyways, she was like a nobody and now she's like a big somebody and she's got her, Michaela. I
Yeah.
think I've actually.
Yeah.
Okay. So she posted, my friend sent me this today. She posted this, she did this massive like luxury handbag unboxing situation. And like I went immediately to the comments because I was like, what do people have to say about this? And like majority of people were like, I just spent $50 on diapers and now I'm poor. Like I don't want to see you plastering like your
Yeah.
stuff all over the internet. And then the other percentage of people, which like for a minute seemed like 50-50, and then it very quickly got dark. But like, we're like, you worked so hard for this, you deserve to show it off. But again, like, I don't know that I agree with that sentiment. I don't know that I agree that just because you made YouTube videos of you like doing makeup tutorials, that you did this hard work, quote unquote, and like should be flexing your massive, I mean, like $55,000 luxury designer
I
haul.
think when we make it big and get to buy our $55,000 luxury bags, we'll be like, yeah, we should show this off.
I don't think so. I don't think I would ever want to like be like do an
Also, bag
unboxing
is
of.
$55,000.
No, she got so much designer merch. The total was like $55,000. Yeah.
I think
So like,
we got the wrong profession here, nursing
yeah,
and
no, we
marketing.
absolutely do. And I'll say it again, the money's not in medicine. It's not in healthcare. So if anyone was thinking about that, that's certainly not where you should go.
It's also not in marketing
We should have went to school for
or
finance.
fitness.
I wish I knew how to day trade.
Oh God, we've so many missed opportunities here.
I know, but nobody tells you these things. So,
Well, here we are, just living our everyday lives, half on
yeah.
the internet, half just not opening $55,000 worth of merchandise.
Yeah, it's a prison.
What
Anyways,
you got going on the rest of this week?
I'm going to Vegas tomorrow for way too many days for a wedding. And then it'll be good. It'll be fun. And then I start my job on Monday. And that's really all I can handle in my horizon right now.
No,
Yourself?
we got the
You
Jewish.
got all the Jewish things.
Yeah. And then I honestly have like a really low key weekend and I feel really good about it. Like I feel really like nobody, nobody had plans to my calendar because I don't want them type of
Do you
thing.
think you're actually going to chill?
I hope so.
She says with fear in her
I
voice.
hope so. I really, really, really hope so.
All right. Well, I hope you do too, genuinely.
Yeah. Well, the other thing I want to say to everyone listening is I think, again, we have like a really good next episode, a solo episode, and we have some cool guests coming on. But for our solo episodes, we want to hear from you and we want to know what we can serve you. And maybe you want to share
Yeah.
a little bit of like gossip or secrets and stuff like that with us. We're in.
Yeah, or if you have a good gossipy like story that you don't want us that you want to tell but you don't want people to know it's you, I'll tell it like it's me.
or Taylor can tell it like it's her. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, we want to know and we want to serve. Obviously, we know you love our, eating disorder journeys, our fitness journeys, our how we do it all journeys, our anxieties, our traumas. We share all of that, but we also want to know from you what you want to see. So don't be shy and slide in. We could do one of those like anonymous, submission things so we
Yeah.
don't even know who it's coming from on our stories on Instagram, but don't be shy and slide into our DMs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Immediately.
As always, we will leave you with nothing is fine, and we're definitely not fine today.
No. If you only knew how
All
not fine.
fucking new.
If you only knew. Yeah. But everything's still fine. So